Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, in terms of Donald Trump's approval rating, a lot of people on the left have been saying it's falling off a cliff, and a good portion of the right has kind of been panicking about this as well. But when you look at it, you see a very similar pattern, and it's a very similar pattern to the pattern we saw back in 2024 when they replaced Joe Biden with Kamala Harris in the polling, and you had some polls that wouldn't really move much, and those ended up being the most accurate polls. But you had a lot of polls, mainly these liberal mainstream media pollsters, that showed, Trump's support was collapsing and Kamala was surging, and that was all fake, and I said it was fake, and I took a good amount of heat from skeptics on my own side of it when I said it, but it's so true. You see the same exact thing. The polls like Emerson, Big Data Poll, Qantas, Rasmussen, that were very accurate, and you compare that to some of these other polls. Some of these polls did have relatively accurate popular vote end results, and that's true, but they were very swingy. And you look into these samples like the New York Times, where they have a -12, only 30% of the sample voted for Trump in 2024. That is not exactly accurate. So they believe that there's this mythical pool of non-voters that's 20 to 30% of the American voting public that will vote in future elections, and they all happen to hate Trump. This is a recurring theme, whether it's intentional, whether it's response bias, it's a problem. But you do see Donald Trump in many of these polls, including some liberal ones, turning a little bit of a corner over the past couple of weeks, and his approval rating is 45.3%. So you could see this here. It's turned a corner. It's gone up. The fact of the matter is that the spread was -7.1 a couple of weeks ago. Now it's -5.4. And is Donald Trump's approval rating probably what it was in February? I mean, probably not, but it's called a honeymoon period for a reason, and that we know. And honestly, some of the honeymoon itself is response bias, but you do have a trade war going on that has shook up the markets. And we'll talk about recent developments that might be positive on that front. And we do know Donald Trump did sign a trade deal with the United Kingdom, which, again, like I said, if you get one, the rest are just going to fall like dominoes, and that we know. And we'll see what happens. But this is the low point in his presidency so far because of all of this, and the media just still acting like rabid dogs, trying to just find fault with everything. But his approval rating is 45.3%. And when you look at his first term, and you want to look at even in the month of May, in his first term, mid-May, he was down below 40. He was down below 40, and the disapproval rating was up near 55. So you see a massive 180 from the first Donald Trump term, where even in the same polling, Donald Trump is doing 10 points better on net than he was in term one. And again, liberals will like to say blue wave this, blue wave that. I'm not even going to get into the whole intricacies about the maps not favoring them. But Donald Trump is just more popular on the baseline, and that's a major problem. And if he's able to pass his tax plan once again and renew it, if he's able to end these conflicts, if this whole, 145% tariff strategy on China actually works, then he will have rewritten the laws of economics as we know it, and he's going to go down in history as a top 5 president. That's the way it is. And when you look at what is possibly going on, you are seeing massive, massive developments in this. And you see this here. Scott Bessent, the Secretary of Treasury, made a statement because he's been meeting with China. They've been meeting with China. They met with China for 2 days, and it seems like a trade deal is on the way. Take a listen to this clip right here.
And I think that led to a great deal of the productivity we've seen. We will be giving details tomorrow, but I can tell you that the talks were productive. We had the vice premier, 2 vice ministers who were integrally involved, Ambassador Jameson and myself, and I spoke to President Trump, as did Ambassador Jameson last night, and he is fully informed of what is going on. So there will be a complete briefing tomorrow morning.
So we see this tomorrow morning. What we do know is that there is some deal that has been reached according to the White House in Geneva. You see this here, and it does seem as if there's going to be something, there's been rumors, is it going to be a reduction of the tariffs on both sides? Is China going to come to the table, provide some concessions? We don't quite know the details yet, and we'll see what exactly happens. But you look at what's going on here. It's not just this. It's also the other promises that Donald Trump made during the campaign trail. We're talking about ending the wars. He said he would end the conflicts abroad. He would end the conflict in Eastern Europe between Russia and Ukraine. He would end the conflict in Gaza. Well, one of these possibly could be happening sooner than later, because this is a breakthrough if it does happen on Thursday, because President of Ukraine Zelensky has said he will meet with Putin in Turkey for a summit this Thursday. Putin actually came to the table first. Zelensky actually coming to the table, wanting to meet with Putin, and you're seeing what's going on here. This possibly could at least get the ball rolling on peace talks. It's good that the two of them are talking, and once again, Donald Trump is going to be able to take credit if this conflict ends, because it is a foreign policy victory that he will be able to tout. And that's a massive thing ahead of the midterms. You're talking about demoralizing your opposition and energizing the people that voted for you. The opposition, when they see things like the markets falling, whether it's temporary or not, they're going to be motivated. And many people on the right will be demoralized because of it. But when you see the fortunes reverse and the egg is on the face of the opposition, that basically said, oh, Donald Trump will lead us into a Great Depression for 4 years, and, you're going to have this conflict abroad. It's going to continue. Things are going to get worse. We're going to get wrapped up in other conflicts. Like all this sort of talk that we've heard, all this fear-mongering from the left, it just turns out to completely collapse and not exactly be true. So we don't know the full details. We don't know what's going on here. It's possible that the war obviously could continue. It's possible the trade war itself can continue. But if Donald Trump is able to capitalize on these things, which these are positive signs, nonetheless, you would rather have them than not have them, for sure. I think everybody can agree with that. But when you're looking at it, yes, these are positive signs that you see that both of these things could be taken care of sooner than later, and if they do, those are victories. And Donald Trump's going to have to work on extending his tax plan. He's called it the big, beautiful bill. But if he's able to do this, and his approval rating already is sitting, even if you take the aggregate, some of the bad polls, some of the more accurate polls, some of the anti-Trump polls with that bias slant, and some of the polls that are going to have a more pro-Trump slant, when you look at it, the aggregate is roughly around 45.3. If he's able to get that closer to 50, and maybe it is already closer to 50, that is massive. If he's able to get it above 50 before the midterms, if Dow's at 50,000 before the midterms, what exactly could you be looking at? You could be looking at a year where the Republicans actually have a fighting chance to hold the House, if not even gain in the House. And a lot of these Senate races are going to be looked at very differently than how a lot of these pundits are looking at them right now. The same thing with all types of elections we're going to see in 2026, especially if you're going to have higher base turnout because of it. And that is absolutely crucial and absolutely huge. And if Donald Trump is able to go out there and do this and cement his legacy, it's not just about 2026, it's also about 2028. And J.D. Vance will have a far easier time winning the ensuing election than he would if Donald Trump had a low approval rating or remained, I guess you would say, in a middling level of popularity for a president during their first term. So Donald Trump said this as well, and we don't know the answer, and we might find out later today. We might already know by the time this video is released, but Donald Trump did say, my next truth on Truth Social, in terms of a post that he'd make there, will be one of the most important and impactful I have ever issued. Enjoy. We don't know exactly what this refers to. It could be that he's waiting and then he's going to post the trade deal, or there's something that is going to come up, something very new, or he's going to make a very bold statement. I don't know exactly what that means. People can guess in the comment section down below, but either way, it's like you see Trump's approval rating. The election mafia, they're at it again. It's not working. But even the reasons why Donald Trump's approval rating might not exactly, be where it was at the start of his presidency, he's starting to turn a corner there and possibly could get back to that, if not even more, depending on what happens over the next few months. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.